Hello, our dear listeners, and welcome to the webinar Game Testing or How to Be in Player Shoes, hosted by QATestLab. Thanks for joining us today. QATestLab continues a series of live webinars dedicated to QA and testing. We are analyzing tricky cases on real projects and sharing with you our own experiences. We will try to prepare the most helpful and interesting topics for you, to understand nuances of software testing and avoid any pitfalls. If you have any suggestion about the webinar topic, please write to marketing@QATestLab.com. Today I will be your speaker. My name is Anastasiia Piatak and I am a Program Manager in QATestLab. For every software product, including game, quality is of importance. Quality assurance, or simply QA, is called to evaluate the quality of software and to assist in its improvement. Actually, I can distinguish three levels, or better to say types of activities that you can apply in order to verify software quality. They are testing, quality control, and quality assurance. I think you know the difference between the concepts, but I'll repeat it one more time. So testing is the actual bug detection. It's a part of quality control that strives to improve the final quality of the product on the basis of received the result. At the top of the pyramid, it's quality assurance, that it's called to arrange testing activities and to ensure their high effectiveness. In general, this is how quality is reached in the IT industry. Now let's talk a little bit about the position of QA in the game industry. In my practice, I often face the situation when people think that to be a game tester means to play different games all day long and after to share their impression. I must say that is not true. Actually, there are two non-formal cultures of testing. This is the West and East one. Generally, on the West, the majority of companies are product one, while the companies from the East provide the services of outsourcing. And product companies promote the professional growth and development of their QA in order to make the real QA engineers. Currently, now all companies follow this tendency, but in people's minds, the East testing culture still remains. It's a kind of stereotype. That's why game testing raises many misconceptions. Actually, this is relevant not only for game industry. If talking about the game industry, in a small team, usually there is a tester who checks the build, opens the detected issues in a bug tracking system, and provides a development team with the test results. In large project teams, the situation is totally different. There are different QA teams that have the defined areas of responsibility. In short, I explained you how everything works. Testing starts at the stage of game development. In the majority of cases, there are several development teams that are working on separate functionalities. During the development process, they are separate QAs that review and analyze the requirements for the functionality under development. Usually, the QAs are closely working with developers, and they participate in the development process. When the parts of functionality are ready, they are gathered in a build that another QA team verifies according to the prepared test case and checklist. Also, one more QA team conducts testing of a ready game directly before its production to the end users. Testers make sure that installation and deinstallation process are bugless, whether everything operates correctly and so on. They perform complex testing. Why so much testing? In order to guarantee objective quality verification and ensure a release of high-quality game. There are so-called dedicated QA teams that focus on verification of particular game aspects, for example, graphical user interface, reliability, load capacity, security, usability, and other aspects. The specifics of QA stage also depends on a pipeline. In some companies, there is testing of game prototypes. Testers make sure that the prototype is ready for further playtest. In some cases, one QA team performs all the testing activities. Also, quite often, it happens that test automation is applied in game development. Automation is called to reduce time and effort spent on the execution of routine positive scenarios. Before implementing new functionality, testers should make sure that everything works properly without any side effects. In this situation, automation helps to save time. This is a common approach for online games. Of course, test automation depends on the specifics of the product. Usually, the developers of box and desktop products are trying to create their own test scripts, applying own approach. They don't want to depend on certain framework. Having own scripts, the team will be able to test game graphical user interface, and it is rather challenging task. Testing complex game mechanism requires the execution of routine action that can also be automated. To optimize the automation, simple scripts that don't use graphical user interface are created. For example, you can develop the script to imitate the player's behavior. Such script can connect to a server via API and behave like bots. Besides, the script will log the test result in a convenient form. As a result, behavior testing is completed. You will be able to check whether all game elements are accessible for players. For example, whether a player can enter the house, scale a tree, or whatever. This is so-called smoke testing. It's important, but not enough to ensure a high quality for the game. But test automation is not applicable for checking new functionality. You can automate it only a stable product. Also, there is such a notion as community testing when a game is tested by its direct players. People who are playing the same game are gathering by speaking on forums or any other platform. They form a game community. Of course, the result of testing by community won't be precise, as in the majority of cases players pay attention to the most bright data. And the quality of effort can also raise questions, as players are unaware of rules to bug reporting. Rather often, in order to improve the quality of issue reports, game development companies provide the players with game internal currency or other benefits. Companies enable the players to earn something playing their favorite game. Community testing is a constant source of actual game issues. Usually, there is a community manager who gathers feedbacks and reported bugs and provides them to a QA team in a convenient and clear form. For mobile game development, to form a large and full community is very difficult and sometimes impossible. In the majority of cases, all discussions take place either on a dedicated page in social network or via technical support. To get feedback on a game, the team should monitor comments on Play Store, iTunes, different forums, etc. A QA team receives only the most critical issues, which testers reproduce, document, and hand over to dev team. When a game is very complex and its testing is a challenge for a QA team, you can perform crowdsourced testing. Crowdsourced testing is conducted by multiple people from different locations. It's like additional workforce to cover all possible test cases. Besides that, individual testers will use various devices or computers with different hardware and software configuration. As a result, you always have compatibility testing conducted. For a small team, crowdsourced testing provides the possibility to get a fresh view of game quality. It's a good way to improve player experience and usability. Independent testing of game is very widespread practice as well. Game delivery companies apply to an independent provider of software testing services for several reasons. Firstly, there are periods of high workload, especially before the New Year and Christmas, when almost every company wants to release a new game or its new version with greetings, advertisement, or other material. The practice of hiring additional testers just for a short period of time and then fire them doesn't work. Besides, you should provide new testers with all required equipment and working place. So, independent testing is an effective solution in this case. Besides, independent testing helps to reduce expenses, as you can select the vendor with the rate suitable for you. And you don't need to provide the QA vendor with all necessary equipment, including mobile devices, bug tracking system, frameworks, and tools. Also, you don't have to invest in independent testers' training and professional growth. The aim of every game is to provide the players with exciting experience full of fun. To make players enjoy the game, its quality should be evaluated precisely and thoroughly. Quality assurance, including quality control and testing activity, is called to guarantee a complex quality verification and this assists in improving playing experience. That's all information for me. And I noticed some questions during the webinar, and we still have a couple of minutes to answer these questions. The first question was, does game testing need estimation and how to estimate game testing? Thank you for this question. Accurate and practice estimation of game testing should be based on the game specifics, available cheat code, and project documentation. Estimation only of gameplay will resemble the real state of affairs. Also, you can prepare estimation on the basis of ready test case, but in this case, you should take into account your previous experience of testing similar functionality. Second question, what kind of report does a QA team prepare for customers and what exactly should the test report include? As for our company, we prepare daily reports that include all daily activity, number of open bugs and executed test case, spent time, used device, number of tested builds, checked features. Also, we prepare the test summary report that include a list of all QA team members with their responsibilities, list of used devices, numerals of game builds, testing scope, a full list of detected bugs, or a link to a bug tracker, feedback on user interface and user experience recommendations. But the structure of the report depends on the customer's requirements, and it can be different. Thank you all and goodbye. Have a nice evening.